So today we're going to be doing an oil change tire rotation on the Fusion. This is a 2013 Ford Fusion Hybrid Titanium Energy. That's just fancy words. It's realistically, this will work for just about any one of these. This is for the guys that want to do it themselves. I've been a lube tech professionally for 6 years. State inspector for the state of North Carolina for a couple years as well. And I'm just going to show you guys how to do it real quick at home. You'll need jack stands for the tire rotation, a jack. You're going to need jack stands and a jack regardless. You're going to need a 15 millimeter wrench. For the tire rotation, you're going to need a 1/2 inch impact and a 19 millimeter impact socket. If you have the original lug nuts, you may need a 19.5 or even a 20 because Ford is notorious for swollen lug nuts. I'm going to tell you that right now. You're going to need a torque stick, preferably one for a car and not for engines like this one is, but it'll work because it's a car. A set of oil filter pliers, maybe a box cutter. Go ahead and get a set of star bits to be on the safe side. You may not need them. Your oil filter for wicks, 51348. Always double check, make sure you get the right oil by checking on your cap. I got Pennzoil, high mileage, 5W20. So let me go ahead and show you guys how to do it. Hood pop is on this side. Super simple, super easy. Genuinely, anybody can do it if you have basic automotive knowledge. 5W20, always double check your cap just to be on the safe side. You're going to open that, go ahead and pull that up a little bit, and then we're going to go ahead and get the car jacked up. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we went ahead and got the car up on the jack stands. We are jacking up on the pinch welds and using the jack stands for the pinch welds. If you don't know what a pinch weld is, hold on. That's what the pinch weld is right there. Alright, so to rotate the tires, Ford is notorious for swollen lug nuts, so you'll need either the 19.5 if you have stock lug nuts. I changed mine the day I got the car to where they are OEM, but they don't have the stupid caps on them. So you should just need a 19 impact. We're going to go ahead and get that rotated. Alright guys, so I like to rotate a certain way. I'll take the rears and move them straight forward, and I'll take the fronts and cross them to the rear. This way every tire gets a chance to be on every part of the car. So let me go ahead and get that done real quick. And always, always, always hand start your lug nuts, like so. Alright, so now that we got them all on, now you're going to start from the bottom and go in a star pattern, making sure everything seats up nicely, like so. And do that all the way around. Alright guys, so I do apologize for the angle. We are underneath the car now. I have made sure everything's stable. Everything's good. Underneath here, mine's zip tied because it has been through a lot. But most of the time, you're going to have these little star bits Mine are genuinely just hand tight. We'll take those star bits out to remove this cover, and then I will show you the drain plug from there. Alright guys, so once you get your cover off, you're going to look for this little guy right here. It should be a 15, and your oil filter is right here. I prefer wicks. I'll show you the part number. From the front of the car, that's what it looks like. Side of the car, it's right there. That is your drain plug, and there's your oil filter. So with a 15, I'm going to go ahead and bust that loose and get that drained. Hang on tight. All the way out. Sometimes it takes a little bit, so I will get back with you here in a second when it is fully drained. Alright guys, so as you can see, we're at the very last bit. You're just going to want to inspect your drain plug, make sure there's no damage to it. It's always good to go ahead and pick one up and have it on standby just to be on the safe side. Mine's good, it's not rounded off or anything, and the little gasket down here is still fine. So we're going to go ahead and put it right back on. And you'll also just hand tighten it until it goes all the way in. Perfect. You'll take your wrench, 15, snug it up. You don't want to over torque these. All you need to do is just give it a little bit of pressure. That's it. And genuinely, if over torquing makes no sense on a drain plug, you don't need that much pressure into it. So now we're going to move up here to the Wicks oil filter. Alright, so with your oil filter pliers, you're literally just going to grab a hold, lefty loosey, righty tighty, turn it, just like that. Get it a little loose and let it start draining. Let that oil drain out so that way it doesn't all come pouring onto your arm. Right, and then you're just gonna keep turning, and it is gonna be full of oil, so set it down gently, otherwise you're gonna splash and make a mess. Alright guys, so we're gonna be using the Wicks 51348 filter. Before you put the new filter on, just take your finger, dap it in the oil a little bit, try not to get it in your hair, and you're going to rub it around the O-ring, making sure that it's well lubricated, so that way you don't accidentally double a gasket. Make sure that the old one came off with the oil filter. Yeah?
Yep.
Alright, so now righty-tighty, and once again, you don't need to over torque these. I can't stress that enough. Take 5 is idiots. Walmart, they're idiots. Just really good hand tight is all you need. Cannot stress that enough. Perfect. And now you'll just clean up where your drain plug was and around where your oil filter was, and that's it. Then you'll put your cover back on and we'll fast forward. Alright, so after you get everything seated up, again, my screws on here are hand tight. Yours most likely won't be. They're little star bits, Allen heads. Sometimes they get miscellaneous bolts put in them from your oil change places. Again, doing it yourself will change that, and don't ask me what the OEM thing is, but basically you just want to make sure that nothing's going to flap around, because otherwise it's going to sound like your car is falling apart. Ask me how I know. I got the zip ties back here because my bolts in the back wore out and we actually had one break off, so it's just easier for me to zip tie it rather than do anything else. Alright guys, so we went ahead and set down the rear. We're going to leave the front up so that way you can double check for any leaks. I always recommend doing that just to be on the safe side. We're using 520 high mileage full synthetic.
Pennzoil.
Pennzoil, that's my preferred brand. Use whatever brand of oil you like. Rule of thumb, 5 quarts, then check it, even if it calls for 5.5. I always recommend just starting with 5 and checking it. This should take about 4.5 quarts to 5, if I'm not mistaken. But that is all of it.
And I ended up taking the full 5 quarts.
What you're going to do then, for all you DIY at home guys that are doing this, you can fill these back up and take it to O'Reilly's and they will be able to get you taken care of. Alright, so you're going to screw the cap on, and then you're going to go ahead and start the car. Obviously be careful because you're still on jack stands in the front, so just be really gentle when doing it. Give me 1 second. Alright, so without getting in, reach in, press the brake, hit the start button. Then you're going to want to give it a little bit of gas, just so that way you can get the motor to actually run. And let off the gas. Making sure you're not getting any leaks. Nothing's dripping. Alright, now we'll kill it. Alright, so you'll never trust the first reading. You're going to want to let the car sit for a second or two after you do the start. This is what you're looking for beforehand. This is the side you'll read. Overfull is just as bad as underfull, ladies and gentlemen. Just so you know. So we're going to go ahead, put that back in.
Hi, you are currently being recorded.
Perfect. As you can see, it is right below that dot. That is absolutely perfect. 5 quarts is all I needed for the, let me see, what size motor is this? 2.0. 2.0 hybrid. Alright, so now I'm going to show you how to reset your oil life after we torque. I'm going to show you how to torque. Alright, so with your torque wrench, I obviously need an upgrade of mine. This is better for motors rather than engines, but...
You mean tires?
Tires. This is a small car. Most small cars are anywhere from 60 foot-pounds of torque for lug nuts to like 120, I think, on some like Audis. I like to set mine at 105. I know it's over-torquing on this car. I believe it's 90, 98. But I like 105 on mine just to be on the safe side. And you're just going to go in star pattern till you hear that click. All the way around.
I filmed from the wrong.
Alright guys, so once you're in the car, to reset the oil life, it's super easy. You're going to use these hand controls. Okay, so you're going to go left. You're going to go down to settings, vehicle, oil life reset. Hold OK to set to 100. Oil life reset complete. To make sure you did it right, go to information, system check. And that should say 100 when you did it correctly. Alright guys, so that is how to do an oil change on your 2013
And tire rotation.
and tire rotation on a 2013 Ford Fusion hybrid titanium. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments section. I've been a lube tech for well over 6 years professionally, and been working on cars a lot longer than that. But in a shop professionally for 6 years, you know, I'm not just winging it. So, hope y'all enjoyed. Hope this helped somebody that needed the help. And let me know what y'all think. Give me a like and subscribe, and have a great rest of your day.